On September 8th, at EFC 73, the interim welterweight title will be contested in a bout forged in controversy. Brazil's Jose Da Rocha returns to title contention, making good on an oath spoken in heartbreak. He fights for family and for honor. Across from him stands the Congo's Gunther Kalunda. Undefeated, the ethos of a warrior propels him forward, and the hopes of a nation, as he seeks to join two other champions hailing from the DRC. On the same night, two heavyweights emerge, both responsible for the greatest striking displays the EFC's heavyweight division has known. To wage war in the ashes of a shared previous loss. Zimbabwe's Elvis Moyo and the USA's Jared Vanderaa will collide. For all four warriors, the road to Sun City has been checkered and long, a microcosm of the modern world of mixed martial arts, a constantly shifting landscape anchored by one desire: to overcome all. This is the countdown to EFC 73, proudly brought to you by Keith Ho Bet Exchange. It's the 10th of August, 2018. At the Grand West Casino in Cape Town, South Africa, EFC 72 is 1 day away. Matchmaker Graham Cartmel is about to conduct the fighters' briefing, an event that traditionally takes place just before the televised weigh-in.
How much is weight now?
As always, Cartmel has one eye on the coming event and another on the next, taking place 4 weeks after.
You can line up at the front for me, everyone. Just come this side, these guys.
It's far easier if you guys have your shirts and lanyards off before you make your way up to the stage.
Ever since the first planning at the beginning of the year, Cartmel had envisaged a special champion to headline one of the year's most special cards. But 1 month prior to filming, Cartmel learned that that champion is not available. Dricus du Plessis joined the EFC organization at just 19 years of age. At 22, he captured the welterweight title, and the following year made history when he moved up a weight division and took the EFC middleweight title also.
Right hand by du Plessis, now chases it up. Oh my goodness, here we go!
Becoming the organization's first two-division champion. From there, he continued his global takeover, traveling to European promotion KSW.
Launch again, looking to that left. Oh, he got rocked.
Down goes the champion with a big shot back.
And taking their welterweight title also.
Steel nuts.
By the time Cartmel began negotiations for EFC 73, his and the Triple Champions' plans were no longer the same.
Dricus is the champion at 2 divisions, so what's happening in his world is he's going, I'm not willing to consider a middleweight fight, maybe I'll consider a welterweight fight. Okay, cool, let's do it. What are we gonna do?
Du Plessis was offered the top contender in the division, a fight which he declined.
I think Dricus is taking a stance to not compete against certain people because it is, in all honesty, better for his career.
The reason I just won't give up my belt is because there's still room for me to fight in the UFC. I don't feel like I'm holding anybody back yet, since there's no real contenders for my belt.
Du Plessis' reasons for declining to defend his title stem from his brief, but pivotal history with one man. If modern MMA has a home, Brazil is an obvious candidate. The code of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu was formed here and tested in the fires of Vale Tudo combat. No holds barred fighting with no time limit, where Brazil's young men would gauge their manhood amidst arenas of their fellows. Jose Da Rocha was born in this place, bred here, and learned the art of fighting. In this country, he became a professional athlete, amassing a record of 7-3, before his talent attracted international attention.
We took a guy who is unbelievably talented from Brazil and put him in a bad situation.
On just 7 days' notice, he stepped aboard an airplane to fight the EFC organization's most exciting champion.
Minha vida é luta, eu sobrevivo de luta, eu vivo luta, eu respiro luta. Então o cinturão, lutar no EFC vai ser muito gratificante e o cinturão é a conquista da minha vida.
Main event time at EFC 59, and there is the man that showed up on a week's notice.
The thing with Dricus is he always wants to fight hard opponents. He'd rather not take a fight than take an easy fight. For the fans and for Dricus, we had to find a credible, legit challenger. We had that with Da Rocha. He took the fight straight away. He had no time to train. He was traveling and getting to South Africa and acclimatizing. It was his first time he'd ever left Brazil, coming in here and fighting Dricus.
Trying to come out the back. Oh, Dilmax is putting a beat down on Da Rocha.
After the fight was lost by Jose, I could see this kind of like hunger in him.
Da Rocha returned to Brazil, the wiser for his travels. And when the call from EFC came again, this time, he was ready. EFC fans took notice. The new Da Rocha was a different beast.
Straight after the fight, Dricus came up to me and he looked at me deadpan and he was like, that is the toughest person I've ever, he is so strong. I've never faced somebody as strong as that. So there's been many conversations since then where I've said, you know, Jose is the guy we're trying to push for the title. What do you think? And he's like, when it happened, it's going to be a huge fight again.
No one expected Da Rocha to win that first fight against Dricus. I wasn't surprised that Dricus won, but looking at it now, seeing how good Da Rocha actually is, you look back and you think Dricus got lucky on that one.
I am the fulcrum between EFC and the athlete. I communicate with them all day. I ensure that they do what needs to be done to get into the hexagon. So whatever the process is from the time that we sign a fight or I sign a fight with them up until the time they get in the hexagon is me.
While Cartmel had a clear contender for the title in Da Rocha, he needed an opponent. The next man to have come to the surface of a division seething with talent. While Da Rocha would travel from the other side of the globe to compete for the interim title, Cartmel's solution, although also from abroad, was located only a few kilometers away.
I'm born in Congo, DRC, Kinshasa. I'm staying in Kensington, and Gauteng, Johannesburg. I'm living with my wife and my young brother, my young sister. I take care of them. It's my life. And maybe with God, soon I can have also my own child. In our family, every man must go to church, to school, must go to prayer, and he must learn some sports. I prefer to do judo. I started with judo. I'm 7 years old. I started to compete on 13, national and international judo on 15.
The DRC's Gunther Kalunda made his way to South Africa on the back of a judo event held in the city of Johannesburg. Here he joined a new wave of Congolese warriors, taking the EFC ranks by storm. Kinshasa-born champion Dulce has carved a place in the limelight as the EFC's second double title holder, while the Congo's Iga Kabesa holds the featherweight title. Kalunda surges forward following in their footsteps, the EFC welterweight title in his sights. In his entire career, he has remained undefeated, finishing all but one of his professional fights.
Gunther Kalunda is one of the most aggro-megalic, beast-like human beings I've ever met. He's just solid, sinew and strength. He's able to translate that through his fighting.
Down goes Armand, the power of Kalunda.
He's attacking, he's brutal, he's throwing guys all over the place, got amazing strikes, he's ragdolling guys all over the hexagon. It's exciting to watch, and he can finish a fight everywhere.
He makes it ugly for the other guy. He's on you, he hurts you.
When you're looking for a champion, you're looking for the guys that are calling out the biggest fights, and he's one of those. He'll finish a fight and he'll say, give me the best guy next. He wants Dricus, and if he needs to fight Da Rocha to get there, then that's what he'll do.
Grand message me, say, Gunther, hi. Say, how are you, boss? Good, start chatting. So, you need to fight Da Rocha. I say, yes. And I ask him back, I say, you want me to beat for you, Da Rocha for you? I say, yes, beat him. I said, okay, I'll beat him properly. I said to God, thank you, God, for this opportunity. I want to take my belt.
The best part about my job is, it's funny, it used to be about the fights. It used to be, wow, we put on that cool fight. I think that's not what it's about for me. It truly is the satisfaction of looking at a young guy and seeing somebody just, navigate their career in a short space of time that truly deserves it and that is talented. And then all of a sudden he's on the main card and then navigates that and he ends up on the co-main and then he navigates that and he's on the headliner and you're sitting there watching him and he's the last fight, there's nothing else to stress about and you've got somebody that you've helped build. And that's why I kind of like the debuts and the guys that we build from the beginning to the top. I can name tons of them. My first fight card ever, Gareth McClellan fought Barry Brits. He was the first fight on the card. Now look where he's gone. You are in the journey with him. It's not you must fight him, it's you're weaving this story of MMA in Africa.
When I'm stepping to Hexagon, I'm fighting firstly for my life. I said to God, Jesus, this is my life you give to me. The sport is the gift.
Quando eu entro no hexágono, eu entro para lutar pelos meus ideais, pela minha família.
Growing up in Johannesburg, Sun City was always this, alluring entertainment destination where we used to go out to. But it was where all the big shows were, when all the big international artists came out.
Situated 2 hours outside of Johannesburg, the playground that is Sun City is legendary. Sitting astride a legal loophole, it was there that the previous government's oppressive laws did not reach, and the freedom of the wider world could be touched.
When we started EFC 9 years ago, we obviously wanted to have an event at Sun City. That would, that's kind of the pinnacle. But it took us quite a few years to get there. We eventually got to our first show there at EFC 50, and it was amazing, and we've never looked back.
With the interim welterweight title confirmed, EFC matchmaker Graham Cartmel knew that a spectacular co-headliner was needed. He saw the solution in the heavyweight division.
So in the last 10 years, the barrier to entry has become so intense.
Cartmel is heading to Johannesburg's Bronx Gym, where he will meet with a man who has risen to become one of the world's most dangerous strikers. Cartmel had initially scheduled Elvis Moyo, African WBF boxing champion, to fight fellow EFC heavyweight Vasil Mostert at Sun City. A signing that would have brought a massive home crowd atmosphere for Mostert, who was born and lives within kilometers of the resort. But Mostert had to decline. Cartmel has put a new opponent on the table, an American heavyweight who in just one bout propelled himself to the top of the EFC roster. On December 16th, 2017, Jared Vanderaa traveled across the Atlantic to face then EFC heavyweight champion Andrew Fonseca.
Round one and round two is how he finishes, folks.
The man dubbed the Mountain executed a striking masterclass, standing toe-to-toe with the champion through one of the most grueling 5 rounds in EFC history. The American lost the bout by a hair's breadth, with much of the EFC world questioning the decision.
Jared, many people thought that you probably walked away with that fight. I mean, you gotta beat the champ. We all know Andrew's head. I tested it. I brought everything I had, and I bounced everything off of that head. This is what we live to do.
On the back of that performance, Cartmel has placed 2 masters of striking on a collision course.
The great thing about watching Moyo fighting is there's a really good chance you're going to see a knockout, and it could come at any point.
An EFC hero since his mixed martial arts debut in 2014, Moyo has used his boxer's touch to lay a beating on opponent after opponent. He shares DNA with Vanderaa, and that perhaps his most memorable fight was against a common foe.
His fight against Andy Fonseca at Sun City when he fought for the heavyweight title was so memorable for me. Elvis took the fight to him and beat Andrew up for 3-4 rounds to the point that that fight was almost stopped. We were telling the doctor to go have a look.
Moyo lost the bout due to his still developing ground fighting expertise, an Achilles heel that he embraces as part of the process of learning a new fighting art, day by day and year by year.
No, I'm a boxing strategist. As much as I complain about EFC cash being paid, it just added so much value in my boxing. So the last 4 boxing fights I fought, I looking at the other guy and he's there, and I'm like, where is this guy gonna go?
Moyo's skill as a boxer and his understanding of mixed martial arts revealed to him a vital truth. No man has withstood the power and the accuracy of his punches, and therefore, the only option an opponent has is to change the game.
You have to come with the mentality of the ground. Otherwise, the whole purpose of fighting me is pretty much useless. When I jab against someone like Andrew, with these hands up, I still make him look stupid. Yeah. Because I'm that good.
We're heavyweights. I expect the power. It's going to be a long, hard road. He's going to be in a rude awakening when he wakes up the following day.
On August 15th, EFC staff attended the Discovery Sports Industry Awards, an event where some of the world's best sporting properties are honored. The organization has won Sport Brand of the Year twice, and tonight they're looking for a 3rd victory. EFC President Cairo Howarth and matchmaker Graham Cartmel are in attendance, along with many of the organization's stars.
I really feel proud being representing EFC at the Sport Industry Awards.
We've been nominated for 3 awards. We've got Sports Personality of the Year. Cairo's in for that.
EFC is a young company and they're just doing great every year, better and better. And I'm honored to be part of it.
The event is a crystallization of the modern landscape of the sport. Men and women gathered across industries and specializations to celebrate their passion for a sport that is able to reveal the full spectrum of what it is to be human, like few others.
And the emotional decisions that go along with deciding to fight somebody, I think, is quite intense. You selling them the idea that this is good for them. I want you to fight somebody else and it's going to be great. You're asking somebody to do something unnatural. and then put it in a very beautiful package setting, beautiful EFC stage. You're asking them to get into a hexagon and beat the hell out of somebody else, and layer that with asking them to get down to a weight where they're killing themselves to do it. Everything that's entailed in that, convincing somebody of that, that's challenging. People can say, oh, it's all about the money, but it's not about the money. You do not step in the hexagon thinking about money. This is for you, it's for your glory, it's for your pride, it's for who you are.
There is a month I stayed in a room which was half the ceiling was fallen and half the floor was fallen. So I was sleeping in the other half. So I'll put the buckets when it's raining on my side, on my right side. I'll put the buckets right through to the end so that the water keeps hitting the bucket. And I put a little bit of water so it doesn't splash outside. When my wife and daughter visited me, she was young, she was 1. So I'll take my daughter, put her on the wall, my wife in the middle, me this side, so that when I fall, I'm the one who falls into the pit. And I slept like that for 2 months. But I never skipped gym. I ran every day. My wife, we've been together for 12 years now, and she's been through all that. My daughter, she's now 9. She didn't even realize, but she did sleep in that kind of position. You see, so for me, to be able to say, okay, now I've got this talent and I can take care of my family using it, it's priceless.
All across the globe, at every moment, men and women of warrior blood are preparing for the time when their desire is realized, when their moment for glory has come to pass. At heart, none are under any illusion. The sport of mixed martial arts is unforgiving. It demands perfect preparation, and even that is not enough to secure victory. This uncertainty reveals the true heart of a warrior, a being willing to risk it all, because once they have sensed glory, they have no option but to try to reach it.
My biggest thing is I pay a lot of attention to the loser all the time, because I want them back. The idea of losing in the sport is it just doesn't feed my soul. But there has to be a winner and loser. That's why we love this. You know, it's the ups and downs. I think that guy needs to come back. They'll all say, I could be an MMA fighter. Rubbish, rubbish, rubbish. You don't know what goes into this. And when you do, and you see where a guy's, what he's gone through, and then he loses, if it's like by a split decision, you are like, it's heart-wrenching. The winner's got all the gold. He's got the belt, he's got the money, he's cruising. It's the other guy that you have to just go, listen. And that's the phone call the next day that I always give every guy who didn't win. Call them each. I say, thank you.
On September 8th, the entertainment kingdom that is Sun City plays host to the EFC interim welterweight title fight.
O recado que eu tenho para você, Kalunda, é se prepare bastante para essa luta, porque eu vou abalar suas estruturas e vou me nocautear.
Brazil's Jose Da Rocha returns to the title arena to battle the Congo's undefeated Gunther Kalunda.
You can come with any weight. I'm ready to attack. My dream gonna come true on 8 September.
In the stands, incumbent champion Dricus du Plessis will look on.
A knockout in the lighter division, it's a knockout. A knockout in the heavyweight division, it's a knockout.
On that same night, behemoth warriors, Zimbabwe's Elvis Moyo and the USA's Jared Vanderaa collide, with blows that have pounded the foundations of the heavyweight division.
I'm a fighter, and I'm here to fight.
I genuinely like the guy. He's got half of the brains I have.
4 warriors, each having taken a distinct path across the globe, and through the shifting world of modern fighting, converge. This is EFC 73.
On Saturday, 8 September, two of the world's best welterweights go to war for the interim title. While the champion awaits his next opponent. And two of the globe's most powerful punchers finally collide.
Jared Vanderaa!
Live from Sun City. The time is now. EFC 73. Da Rocha versus Kalunda for the interim welterweight title. Moyo versus Vanderaa. 8 September, Sun City, South Africa.